would you go back to not knowing it?
No, not at all. No.
To
It's
me,
just the fear of the dip. That's all it is.
I don't believe, okay, this is interesting. Now we enter into a good one. Is it a dip? Or is it natural?
Yeah, like that's where I struggle a bit with you, because I do think that it is, I don't think that it is a dip. Like that's the two, marrying the two worlds. Like how do you feel there is, so within the dream and the human language, there's a dip. But in reality, I mean, today, some of my work today was, I wrote it down somewhere, I can't even remember what. Oh yeah, talking about the sensation. Yeah, like where is the me? Who does the fear belong to? Because that story started to build of, oh, how am I going to pay my rent? What's going to happen to me in the future? All that kind of stuff. And looking for the center, like really drilling down into it, recognizing I can't even be sure that it's fear. I really can't.
Wow, man. Wow.
Like there's a sensation.
Wow, Gavin.
It's uncomfortable, but there's even, say, a 5% to 10% of saying it's uncomfortable. That's kind of, I'm not even convinced it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Wow, man. Like I just had this thing as you were saying. That's really interesting what you just said, and really, in my opinion, evolutionary with the guy I'm speaking to. The thing that I'd never even thought of something like this before, but as you were saying, I thought, if it's not fear, which is, I love how you're calling that into question, it almost then is a better term for it. Is it potentially a rudder?
A what? A rudder?
Rudder.
Like a rudder on a ship?
Yep.
What do you mean by that, by rudder?
You're
like steering?
Yeah, you're in
steering?
a boat. You're in a boat, and this thing that we're not going to necessarily label fear, although it may feel in typical terms fearful, comes in around something. And is it part of what is moving the rudder?
Oh yeah.
Right, and nothing more. Just part of the interplay. And rather than just only having happy cream that is supposed to move the rudder, thunder and lightning can move the rudder. And
sorry, that's just new to me. What is a rudder the thing that steers, or is a rudder the wheel, the engine? Oh, that's a propeller.
The rudder is, if you were in a little sailboat, you hold this thing, and it's kind of how you can adjust. And
okay, yeah.
what we're saying is, if these things come up, seemingly fear, whatever ish situations, and let's call them the current, and the current is pushing the boat, and now you're just adjusting the rudder between, oh, okay, there's a lot of thunder and lightning over there, but some of it's okay and we can keep on our destination. There's a lot more at play to how you can go through.
Could you then expand on that in the sense that is it, so from the non-dual aspect, my idea or awareness was that the layers of patterns and conditioning and Gavinness, in a sense, I don't know how to put it, steered me to, or the layers of patterning and conditioning steered me to under-earning or to poverty, or that perhaps, I don't know, like that conditioning. So if it's when you say that the fear to use that label, is adjusting the rudder, do you mean that it's directing me into fearful decisions?
No, that's what I really appreciated the way you said it, because when you took something that the way I interpreted you is you took something that you would normally label fear, and you kind of removed that. You just kind of gave it a more ambient. Didn't even hear you give it a name, and now it just becomes part of the current. And
Yeah,
you've got a rudder, and now it's just part of the current. And seemingly negative currents can be part of your destination as well. And
okay, yeah,
like not separating it out. It reminds me of this great analogy about these kind of things. I guess it was some convention, right? Big convention. And some guy gotten up the night before and had told this happy story that everybody clapped like flipper, because we're in this transformation together, and it's voila, it's done. And the guy the next night was I think he was a Supreme Court justice or something, not like California Supreme Court justice is the story I heard. And he said to people in the crowd, he said, oh, what'd you think of the guy last night? And of course, the crowd was rapturous about positivity or whatever. And then this guy, the justice or whatever, said, oh yeah, I gotta say I didn't really agree. So we don't do that or whatever. And he goes, my experience is quite different. He said that when you engage in altering these behaviors, he said it's like a sailboat that this is the rudder analogy. He said it's like a sailboat that you've adjusted the compass 1 degree, and that 1 degree over time, that alteration of 1 degree over time on a long journey will put you in a completely different destination.
yeah,
And I think that that's what this more inclusive conversation is. It's adjusting the compass because it's including more of the ocean, more of the map, more of the currents. It's demonizing less, including more.
yeah,
And I think over time, it leads to a completely different destination.